My name is Bruce Patton. I'm the curator here, and again, appreciate you coming. We have a great program. This is our first time actually having an artist come in and do a piece on their particular art. So hopefully you guys get to enjoy this crab and listen to Cristian talk about the making, the process of it. Before that, let me just say, hopefully you got to experience some of the exhibitions we have out there. So again, since it's your first time here, what I'd like to mention is we have 5 galleries, 4 of them. We do rotating themed exhibits, and those exhibits will stay for 4 months. And then we stagger the galleries such that every month there's a new exhibit coming in. So it's a good reason to be a member, so you can come back every month and see a new exhibit. So speaking of the exhibits, out there in Gallery A, you'll see A Quiet Greatness on the Japanese collectible cars. We just put out the American small cars, the Bantam and Crosleys, and EGG-771, the crab, will be out there with those. So as soon as we put him out there. We also have, hopefully you guys got to see the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum cars. Are only here through February 2nd. And then they have to go back. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum is almost done with their 18-month renovation. And so they all have to go home. So also we have the supercars. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those also. On exhibit coming in 2025, you can see we just started with the first one with the American small cars. I won't read all these. We also have it up on our website so you can see what's coming in 2025. And as I mentioned, the movies. So we did have to delay the Tokyo Drift movie in January. So if you go on our website, that's coming up in 1 or 2 Fridays from now, I think. So that'll be playing here. And you can see the other movies that we have. Again, this should be on the website too for you to see. Also like to thank Styles Auto Care. So they're a sponsor of our Tireside chats that we do. That's what we call our programs here. Without them, we couldn't make these programs happen, so we appreciate their help. And now I'd like to bring up our moderator, Stephen Murphy. So you guys, it's the first time you don't know Stephen, but Stephen's been with us before. So Stephen was from the Driehaus collection, and they have loaned us many cars from Chicago before for some of our exhibits. We got to meet Stephen. He now has his own S.J. Murphy, LLC. So he's a broker for helping people find the right cars. So if you need that, Stephen's here. But he's also great friends with Cristian, and he introduced us to Cristian. So Stephen will be moderating today. So I'd like to bring up Stephen so he can introduce Cristian. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you, Bruce. What an amazing place to work. I've been with them from the start, from when they opened. With so many automotive museums, car museums closing over the years, it's really refreshing to see somebody do it right? To do it so well, and the programs are so varied. The first 2 winners of the Indy 500 are out there in that lobby. How about that? I mean, unless you've been to the Indy Motor Speedway Museum and seen them there's no other place where you can see those. And all 12 of those cars out there are Indy 500 winners. That is amazing. Like Bruce said, my name is Stephen Murphy. I have a background in restoration and collection management. I did work for a very famous and respected collection, the Richard Driehaus collection. I've now gone on my own, and one of my, I still work with cars. I still help collectors maintain, restore, and enjoy their cars and buy and sell. I met Cristian through a common friend, and he, look at this. How can you not be interested in the person who, came up with this and whose mind conceived this? So we are going to be talking to him. I'll bring him up in a little bit and go through the inspiration for it. and the actual process, the materials, and his philosophy for creating his art. We have a short video that we are going to be playing here in a little second that Cristian had made that gives you a good idea of how this came to be. So with that, guys, cue the video. All right, and with that, I present you Cristian Castro.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
So,
Yeah, okay. I want to introduce myself. My name is Cristian Castro. I am from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. I want to say thank you so much for coming today to enjoy my my sculpture. I'm an artist and industrial designer. I do art and robotic style of fine art from all appliance, many different things with a retro design, right? So I try to repurpose the original design from somebody else to take or to make a new character. So this is what I do. So thank you so much for coming, guys.
And you do it very well. You do it amazingly, and I'm really looking forward to having him explain to us how he came up with all of this. And there is a nice slide here that gives it's a little roadmap, and it tells you what kind of parts went into this piece. So when I think of this, I've been hearing this word that I didn't quite know what it meant. It's upcycling, right? So we know about recycling. We know what that is. Upcycling, I found out, is using pieces that have had or parts that have had a previous function or previous life, and then using them for something a little bit more elevated, for example, art. So I think that fits the mold perfectly. Actually, mold is a good word to use because there's molding involved in the making of this, and you'll see throughout the slideshow that process. Cristian, born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, 1971, came to this country in the 90s, I believe.
Yes. 1999, yeah.
He's into motorcycles, is into aircraft, is into cars. We've had a good sort of, we enjoy going to museums. We were at the Tellus yesterday. We like science, we like tools, we like what you can do with technology. So just going over what we see, obviously what people, especially car people, or people who notice cars, the first thing, can we go back one, guys? Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so what pretty much everybody gets about this is, that's the hood of hood. It's a rear hood. It's an engine lid, right? Because you know that Volkswagen Beetles have the engine in the back. So that's where this piece comes from. But there's so much more, as you can see in the labels. There's so much more that is taken from machinery, from vehicles, from an office chair. There's somewhere in there's a call out for like an office chair, a caster that are used. We have brake boosters off of heavy, industrial vehicles like buses and trucks. So we will cover all of this as we go through. But there's, Cristian is he's worked in a his shop right now is in a area of Los Angeles, in Downey, where they convert buses and trams from internal combustion engines into electric. So, and he's been around that, so he's well versed. He has a multitude of skills that he can apply, that he has applied in his employment in the past. But when he has free rein to sort of let his creativity flourish, he brings all these skills into whatever it is that he's doing at the time. So, and feel free to stop me at any time, Cristian, and okay, correct me at maybe.
No, you're
okay.
Perfect.
So, so you see that there's a wide variety of things going on here, but as a way to illustrate it to you, I thought we'd start with the fabrication, which is one of the skills that are very important in this piece. There's a lot of metal cutting and welding, and we will see here that this, I guess we'll work from the body out. And here we see, actually it's two Volkswagen Beetle hoods, quote unquote. One on the top, the one that we see, and one on the underside.
Yes, put it together.
We don't see the one on the underside, but it is there, and there's a slide later on where you will see that. And there's a lot of, apart from fabricating, cutting, grinding, welding. You're going to see a lot of automotive refinishing. So Bondo or filler, primer, paints. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's automotive paints.
Yes,
right?
automotive paints.
Yep.
A different industrial process.
Yep.
It's like a automotive paint, powder coating, clear powder coating. They are a very different process, you know. So.
Yep. So there's a multitude of techniques and materials and tools that were used for the making of the EGG-771, which actually that would be a good. This is a good chance to explain how you came up with that name.
Yeah. So I saw it originally on the very old license plate, looking for something for my sculpture. And when I saw the name, I said, hey, I think it's cute for my sculpture, right? So, because this is a transformer, retro-style transformer for a VW Beetle. And I say, I don't want something aggressive, you know, I don't want to make aggressive transformers like you know, the regular robots we saw around. So I think it's cute, the name is cute, and I decided for this name, and also I decided for this name because the big radius around of my sculpture. You can find a lot of big radius around the sculpture. And 771 is July 1971. It's the day when the year when I birth. Beautiful British Columbia. It's 1969, beautiful British Columbia. So Volkswagen started this design in 1969. When you go to eat crab on any restaurant, the 70% of the crab come from British Columbia, right? And the color at the license plate is the original color at this year, 1969, on British Columbia. So the white and blue.
So it's a correct reproduction of a British Columbia license plate for that year.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so I guess we didn't talk about the inspiration. So you saw Beetles?
Yeah, my inspiration began when I saw a 1969 VW Beetle parked outside my house. And I saw it every morning. When I saw it from behind, I saw the rear door growing legs and claws. And I say, oh, okay, I have to buy these covers, and I have to do it. I need to do this craft. So because it was an obsession for me, you know. So this was my inspiration.
So you were seeing it every day on your way out to the house?
Oh yeah, all the time.
And you thought, I've got to do something. Yeah, I can't escape the thought without making something, right?
Yeah, the beginning was obsession, and after was a nightmare. So I said, I have to do it.
Yep. I got to get this off my chest. I got to get this made. This beetle that grew crab legs. Okay, cool. So so back to that was the inspiration. That was how you conceived of the idea. Back to the actual making of. So we see here we see a lot of metal, and you can see the claws on the top. Those are pretty substantial. Those were actually water cut, right?
Water cut, designed on computer and cut it on watershed.
Yep, and you see automotive shock absorbers holding those claws out, right? There's a couple of, we don't see the whole thing here, but you can see a couple of steering columns off of buses. Right below the claws, the big black things at the base of the claw, those are automotive steering columns. Down here on the legs, these are all, they are drive shafts with universal, the car people will get my drift, but those are drive shafts with universal joints on the ends. We've got steering linkages here for your to adjust your toe on any regular vehicle. So, and of course we've got the top part of the body. It was fabricated 100%.
Yes.
Right. The bottom is that engine lid, but the top was actually fabricated, and there's a few more slides here that'll illustrate that process.
Yes.
So a few more close-ups here, and actually we can see here there's a couple of drilled spots on those joints and those UJs. That is actually his numbering system, which I found out yesterday when we put this together. He's got a numbering system on the legs, and in order that they go together. And so that's what the claws are built on. That's the heavy steel that provided the basis for the claws, and you see them assembled here. The claws were wrapped in so here's a close-up of the steering column base, right? The big black thing going across, and the brake booster can on the top left, and the shock absorber. So more about claws. They're made of a base, a steel base. And this is a polyurethane foam.
High-density polyurethane foam, yeah.
That Cristian initially cut. It looks like you cut it, but then you shaped it. You'll see how the finished product was nothing like this. This is just the beginnings of it, okay? So you got the main claw, and then you got the opposable thumb that goes with it. And here it starts to take shape, and you can see all the shavings from presumably filing it or sanding it, right?
Yes, by hand without drying, just looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so just basically sculpting. You were sculpting
Yes.
the polyurethane. Okay. And you see more of the process here, and now we start to see curved shapes. Okay, this is closer to the finished product. And so a word about this. This is, you're making plugs here, right?
Yes. So yeah, the process is three different steps. You have to do the plug or the master or the model. After that, you have to do the molds, and from the molds, you're going to make the final pieces you're going to use.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty, for example, if you think of boats, fiberglass boat hulls, and how they've been, manufactured since, I believe, the 50s was the beginning of the fiberglass technology. That's basically how they make them. They make a big mold, and they just make as many, hulls as they need, right? Or as they can sell. So that's basically how this, a lot of these parts were made, including the claws and the legs, right?
Yes.
They were all molded, okay? And so this is how it starts. Everything is going to look like everything that's molded from this is going to be identical to it. All right? Had you sculpted in polyurethane foam before?
Yes.
You had?
Oh, yeah, and Surfer Shaper. So
Okay.
I work a lot with polyurethane foam, fiberglass, any composite, carbon fiber, Kevlar.
Right. So you're basically making the mold here over the plug. You can see, it's not a great picture, but you can see the fiberglass material, and he's impregnating it with polyester resin, right? So that's the resin, and this is the fiberglass, and the resin hardens over the fiberglass and keeps that shape, right? There it is. Very stinky stuff, right?
Yes, very stinky. Yeah.
So there it is again. Okay, and this is the plug on the piece, right? The plug installed.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, but this is the concept, the first concept I did it, and you have to put it in the frame or the metal pieces already cut it, and you could see if it's good, if it's symmetrical, and you have to make the decision if you're gonna keep going or you have to modify something.
Okay, so you're just kind of testing it. You're just fitting
Yes.
it, trial fitting it for now.
Yes.
Okay.
They are the molds.
Molds. Okay,
Yeah.
so these are good. That's the right shape, and you can use these to then make out as many copies as you need.
Yeah. When you have your mold, or I'm sorry, the plug or the master, you already finished, you have to put wax on top. You don't want to touch the second process with a resin to the surface. So you need to release the mold after the process. So when you have the mold already finished, you could paint inside, and you can laminate with fiberglass and release the final parts from inside. And you could do any quantity you want from one mold.
Right. Highly repeatable. You're going to get the same part every time you make it out of that mold, right?
Yes.
They're all identical. Yep.
Yeah, there are plugs too, molds. Yeah, they are the final pieces. They come from the mold already painted.
Yeah. So these are the actual pieces that came out of those molds that went onto the claw. This is the right claw. So this was pre-paint, and you see more of it here. So anybody who's familiar with bodywork, collision repair or restoration, if you know the products and the processes, this probably rings a bell to you. Oh yeah, that's that's filler, that's primer, So and we will see this throughout. This is plug again, right?
Yes.
Okay. More plug. Yep. All right. So we're kind of moving along, right, in the progress of the piece, and you have pretty much everything on. All the quote unquote body work, right, is on, and it looks like you're trial fitting it here. You're looking at the overall picture.
Everything have to be fit perfect to the frame before you start the paint process.
So you were happy with this fit up? This was ready to go?
Yeah, yeah, ready to paint it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like primer on the gray stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, this is the plug, the centerpiece for the plug.
Okay, and there's a funny story here, and you'll see here in the next slide where the inspiration for these parts came. Tell us about this, Cristian.
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys see the Mustang scope, 2002 Mustang, so I cut the size and I put it together and recreate the parts for the center, this piece. So this size one part of the Mustang scope, and here is the second part. So I put it together. Put it together with a piece of wood inside in the middle, and put bondo, paint, and made the plug from the Mustang scoop.
So it's basically this shape here, right? This whole piece here, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That you sectioned off of one or more 2002 Mustang hood scoops.
Yes.
Right. So
exactly.
So there you have it. Constantly taking from other, arts or disciplines or vehicles and using them for his art. So here it's taking shape now. Almost ready for paint. It looks like that license plate holder needs a little bit more work. I'm a restorer, so I know more or less what I'm looking at. All right, and we go into paint, and these are the very parts that we were talking about a second ago.
Yes, this is the paint booth. So the color is original color from Volkswagen to 1969. Yeah, they use it for Porsche and Volkswagen on this year. Yeah. But it's
all right.
I look younger than now. So.
Okay, so this is a good view of the two engine covers, right? And the top one is, the legs come out of the bottom one, right?
Yeah. Here's the connection of both.
Yeah. So on your right is the bottom side, on your left is the top side, the one that you see. All right? So you don't see the bottom one. You see the top with the license plate on it. All right, more paintwork, clear coat on.
The little hood.
Yeah. So this you see is close to the finishing stages, right? When everything's painted. Oh, and so a word about the metal, because in this view, the metal, it's not like we've seen it in the past. Like up to now, we've seen them painted. The steering columns were black.
And
Rusted.
Rusted steel.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the process. How did you make the naked, and they're still pretty much, they look raw, but they have a finish on them. Tell us about that.
So when the leg was finished, I did sandblasting on top. So sand, very high pressure, and clean the old rust or paint, or oil, whatever you have in there. After that, we did sanding on top with a very, very big machines. You know, by hand. It's very, very heavy process, right? And after that, we did powder coating, clear powder coating on top on some pieces. Yeah, and another pieces are gray, dark gray, but powder coating. It's a high temperature powder paint. So the paint is powder, and they put it on top with electricity, and they put it in an oven with under very high temperature, and the paint melted around the metal, and he make a very hard protection around the metal. But it's a very industrial process.
So that's how we ended up with that finish. And so, and another comment here from me. So this, and we'll see it in one of the next slides, this is sitting on top of a trailer. So it's a pretty large trailer. And a lot of people in the lead up to today, we got here Wednesday and, no, Thursday. Well, we started work on this yesterday. And, you know, we've had people come and go. And people who'd seen, especially staff at the museum here, who had seen pictures of the crab had said, oh, well, now that I see it assembled, it looks a lot bigger in person. So this gives you a little bit of an idea of, you know, when you kind of figure out that it's sitting on a trailer, folks, it's pretty large. That kind of puts it in perspective. That's been one of the things that people have sort of remarked about. Wow, it's bigger than I thought, right?
Yeah, it's true.
All right, and this is your War of the Worlds view. If you know,
Without covers.
What's that?
Without covers.
Without covers, yeah. It's not completely dressed. Yeah. So you know, if you know your H.G. Wells, you know, War of the Worlds, not a human in sight. Yeah, it's sunny. It's in California, but to me, it's a little, you know. Cristian was he knew that he wanted this to be approachable, and he loves, you know, kids being around it and enjoying it as much as adults. So he wanted to make it a friendly, you know,
character. Friendly character for kids. Yeah.
Yes. So, but this to me is kind of sinister, you know. And actually, another comment on other artists. If you guys have heard of H.R. Geiger, who did all the design for the movie Alien with Sigourney Weaver. And if you know the sets, they're pretty scary, pretty, you know, out there, you know. And so his art, H.R. Geiger, he's a Swiss artist, he was. His art was described as biomechanics, okay? So mixing living things, living organisms with machines. And I think this is a perfect example of that. And if you saw the fish installation, you also get that idea. It's trying to be you know, a living organism, but underneath it's really just a machine. I shouldn't say just a machine, but it's a machine that wants to be a living thing, right?
Yes.
So
exactly.
Yeah. So, and a word on 27 Fish, his other large work. It will be at the LA Art Show between February 19th and the 23rd.
Yes.
So that's...
Yeah, we're going to be a huge installation I did on 2019 for LA Art Show, a MOLAA Museum, Contemporary Art Museum of Long Beach, California. There are 27 fish I did with the lower unit with the propeller from the outboard engine Johnson brand. So they are from 1950s to 1960s. They're very, I get it in very, very bad condition. So I did complete restoration around modification with the DC motors inside for the propellers. And I did the bodies on fiberglass. So they look very aggressive, but at the same time, they look high-end finish design, you know, like a fine art, very fine art. So we're going to put this installation on LA Art Show in February. So
Can't wait. I'll be there to help you set up.
yeah, for sure.
They get about 70,000 visitors. They're expecting 70,000 this year. So a lot of eyeballs. And we're hoping that, you know, this will, you know, get people to come in and take a look. And I think it's a different type of art. You know, one of the things about Savoy that I love is that they own art and they display it. And, you know, you guys have probably seen it out there on the walls, two-dimensional. But I think this is the first 3D art that they've had, maybe. This certainly the first artist. So, you know, they're doing everything right. They're a great institution, and I'm going to help them continue, you know, on this upward path. So, it's done. It's finished. Let's go show it. You know, the last time the crab was shown was 4 years ago. Was it 2020?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
before COVID.
Before COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
So
1 week before COVID.
So 19.
Yeah.
Because COVID, you know, lockdown started March 2020.
Yeah, almost there. Yeah.
So one of the things that you know, pushed me to jump in and start working with Cristian and promoting his work was the fact that he felt bad that his art, this piece in particular, and 27 Fish, had been created for 3 years by the time I met you. And you know, he was kind of, you know, down on that, and he wanted to change that. So here we are. And but it did have its run when it was first finished. This, you know, these are some of the images of where it's been. It's been at the LA Art Show too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This picture is from. Okay.
So.
Yeah, this Barbosa Space Center. It's a school for aerospace for little kids. It's in Ontario, California. So they want to introduce little kids to the aerospace world. So they want me to put this crab at this exhibit they do because they think the rover or the robots on Mars have to work like a natural design, not with wheels. So they invited me to put this robot to show the kids for this event.
It does not walk.
It's not work.
It does not walk. We've had that a lot in the last couple of days. It does not walk, and we'll cover that later. We'll have a Q&A later, and we can go over that. So yeah, it must have felt great to show it. What did you feel? What was the first show it was in public at, and what did you?
On 2011 in Downey, California.
Okay.
Yeah, in an art gallery.
Yep. How did it make you feel?
Very good. Yeah, I love exposure. I enjoy very much people come to see my art, you know, so I love it. Yeah.
This looks like, I don't know what this is, but it looks like a group of students.
Groups.
Yep, with maybe a teacher or a guide,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, they came to see my robots, and after my exhibit, they do drawings on the school, and their father sent me the emails saying that, thank you so much for the inspiration my son get to do drawings from your robots.
So, having done restoration work, automotive restoration, in the past, it's, you put a lot of work into this, and I wonder if you ever despaired and thought about giving up.
Over 1,000 hours.
Over 1,000 hours, yep,
Yeah.
yep. So an auto, if you restore a car, it could be anything from, I don't know, 3 to 10,000 hours, depending on the type of car and the type of restoration and the type of people working on it. And it takes a special mindset to stick with it. I spent 3 weeks one time a few years ago sanding on spoke wheels that were painted, and I spent 3 weeks sanding primer on those spokes wheels.
Just
you can imagine, 20, 30...
couple pieces.
Say again?
Just in a couple pieces.
5 wheels, no, 6 wheels, because I had 2 side mounts. So 6 wheels on the old car, pre-war cars. So, I had no fingerprints left from holding the sandpaper, wet. And, I survived it, but it sort of takes a special mindset and determination to stick with it. And that was a team of guys. There was about four guys in my team, and we were working together. So it was hard in those circumstances, but it's just admirable for you to stick with your vision and come up with this, right? From concept to reality. And I think, for me at least, the takeaway is, if I was the artist and I wanted a kid to walk away with one idea, is if you can think it, you can make it, right?
Yes.
If you can dream of it, you can make sure that
I have to do it. Yeah. Yeah. When I get the inspiration, I say, okay, we're gonna do it. Yeah.
All right. So we are. That about wraps it up for our presentation. If you wanted to say something before we open it up for questions and answers.
I think it's fine. So okay. I think I say everything I know about my art.
Okay. Well, thank you guys, and I think somebody's going to pass around a microphone.
Right. Yep. So we have microphones here, so we are recording this. So if you would wait for us to get the microphone to you, because otherwise we won't be able to hear it on the recording. So.
How much does it weigh, and how long does it take to put it together?
Okay, this is almost 6-year project. It's not a full-time job, but little by little. His weight is 900 pounds.
And how long does it take you to assemble it here on the site?
Oh, 5 hours, 6 hours. Yeah.
Question I have is, I saw you make your design on paper, and I see the finished product, but my question is, what came first, the parts, the individual motorized, mechanized parts, or your imagination searching for those parts that you designed? In other words,
say it again, I'm sorry.
did you, when you designed it, did you have parts in storage somewhere that you wanted to use, or did you look for those parts after you designed it?
No, I already have some parts around on my shop, tons of parts, from aircraft, cars, helicopter. So, but my inspiration starts from the rear deck from the VW Beetle, and I didn't have it those parts. So I buy it and I start to put pieces already have around. And after that, I say, okay, this looks great. It's gonna be great if I do it. So I already see it on my mind, I saw the part in the floor, but already said finish. So I say, I have to do it.
Well, as someone who owns a red Volkswagen Beetle, it breaks my heart to see a torn car like that.
Wow, right.
All right,
So
got one
good.
up here, Christian, young lady up here.
Oh, Hello?
Does it take batteries?
What would you say?
Good question. Does it take batteries?
Yeah, we have batteries inside for the eyes and the license plate. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. Christian, I got a question.
Yes.
So when you were growing up in Buenos Aires, Argentina, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have you always had a creativity mind? You're able to see something beyond what
Yeah.
functionality is, and your background of like engineering or industrial engineering.
No, I am a self-taught designer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, you're always
Yeah, yeah. I did a lot of little robots. I've been talking with Bruce this morning about it. When I was young, very young, people bring gifts on my birthdays, and they give me a robot. But he was a plastic robot. And I get mad with that. Because I say, the robot has to be metal.
Yeah.
I went, get older, I did my own robots. And I say, this is what I want, you know? It was my frustration from when I was a kid. Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
got one up here, Christian.
Yes.
So where are we going to see this at? Like, what is it useful for?
No, it's just fine art.
Oh, it's just like
Yeah.
to look at? Oh, that's
Yeah, because you have two words, the fine art world or robotic and engineering world. I could do that. I could do a robot with actuators, and I have an experience about it. But I don't want to do that. I want to transform pieces to another character. And I like very much fine art. Yeah, I don't want to be at the engineering world.
So it does move, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It moves. There is some.
Oh, I'm
movement.
sorry. It doesn't move. No, just the clamps. You can put it on different positions. The clamps, you see. Yeah. All right, so. Oh, sorry.
You actually answered her question.
Okay.
Um,
Actually, how far do the claws move?
Mm-hmm. No, just like that. Not too much. See?
So
Yeah.
limited.
Yeah. No more than this. Thank you for asking.
All right.
One over here, Bruce.
You know, one thing I find interesting, and it's fantastic that this is here in an automotive museum. As you went through the discussion, the process and else, I've been looking at. Am I not close enough? Okay, I'm sorry. I've been recently doing a lot of research on the what I call as a resto-modded. What's the other kind of cars they have out there? The
Replicas? Tribute
no.
cars?
But anyway, the artists who take cars, we've got a couple coming in here that take a car, 1960 car, and do a restoration, but then take it and turn it into a
Like customize?
Yeah, I'm struggling with the word. I'm looking.
Resto mode.
But it's
better
a street mod, a resto-modded street rod,
Mm-hmm.
resto-modded street rod. And what they go through in terms of the process, they start off with a vision for what something should be, and just go. And I find that your art does exactly the same thing. You see a piece of automotive industry, a trunk lid.
Yeah,
and
not
where's it
automotive.
going to go, and what else is possible with it? And it's really interesting to see the parallels, being an auto museum, as to how many automotive designers look at a car and say, you know what, I like the car, but it can be something better than that. It can be something different than that, and they completely change them. But by the time they're done, there's not a single part in the car that hasn't been touched and re-engineered and things added to it. So I love the parallels, not to mention the industrial skills it takes to build something like this in terms of the fabrication, the molding, the producing, painting and finish. It's exceptional. It's
Thank
just
you so much.
exceptional.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, we got one up here.
Hi, I was wondering, I know that various writers will always mention, and I've kind of grown up on it, that cars are a form of art. And some of them are more striking than others. And older Buicks and Studebakers have always struck me as being particularly artistic. Is there any particular models that you used as inspiration when you were young?
I like many different models, but the next one is going to be another VW door, older than this, but it's going to be a Scorpion with the covers on carbon fiber, black carbon fiber, and the steel is going to be very high polished stainless steel all around. So it's going to be more sophisticated than this. So answer your question, I love many other designs from cars, but I'm still working on Volkswagen. Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, one more.
Well, I can do it right here. What was your inspiration on that Scorpion?
What would you say? I'm sorry?
On your next model that you're describing, what was your inspiration? How did you?
Yeah, what was your inspiration for the Scorpion?
The thing is, I have my own Disney line in my head, you know? I have so many characters jumping on my head. So, but I need to do one by one. Yeah, so after this, I saw the Scorpion, and I'm gonna make something a little bit more aggressive than this, you know. And I am a composite technician. I do carbon fiber, Kevlar, fiberglass, and I would love to see a Scorpion with a very high gloss finish on carbon fiber covers and stainless steel, high polishing metal pieces. So I think it's going to be super cool to do.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, thank you.
Exciting.
Got one more here, Christian.
Yes.
So obviously, you're not doing all this by yourself.
Oh, no.
How many people do you have working in your studio with you?
This piece involved maybe 5, 6 different people, because we have molding, auto paint, powder coating. I don't have the installation for powder coating because you need electricity. It's like a belt with going in a big oven, very high temperature, maybe 280 degrees, and so you don't have to keep everything, you know. So I delegate some things, but I do the art.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Christian. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to say thanks for bringing the crab here, obviously. And thanks, everybody, for coming here to Savoy and coming to our program. So you can come down here if you want and get your pictures taken by the crab. Then we're going to probably close the theater up here around 3 o'clock or so, because we're going to have to take the crab apart, and then eventually it'll be out there in the American small cars, definitely by Tuesday when we open. So thanks again, everybody.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.